Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here today. And as promised, I am going to answer your question of what is your biggest struggle during your season of singleness? So I'm going to share my screen right here for a second. But before I do that, if you don't know me, my name is Denise Kavalauskas, and I am a transformational women's love coach specializing in helping you heal from narcissistic abuse in relationships so that you can go from toxic love to true love, how you can create true love after toxic love. And I have an email list, and I send emails to my email list. And in one of my emails, I sent this email. That's why I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, as soon as it will let me. Perfect. Here we go. Okay. So the title to the email was How to Remain Strong and Hopeful During Your Season of Singleness. This is a picture of my husband and me. This was my birthday weekend just a couple months ago at Surf City Beach in North Carolina. And that, my loves, is a delicious, what was that? Oh, white martini. That's my husband being silly. So the email says it was a cold January night in 2015, and I was at the bar yet again with my friend Joanna. We were there to see a cover band called Mostly Crew. I happened to look across the bar toward the entrance and guess who was right in front of me. Yep, it was Ray. I was so excited to see him, and he was thrilled to see me too. We stood in front of the band and danced. I remember him holding me so tight around my waist that night. I loved it, and I will never forget that moment. He still holds me that tight. We didn't call it official. We didn't call it an official relationship until 5 months later, which was May of 2015. Why? Because I was still healing and getting to know my value, my worth. I needed that time to navigate and figure out who I was after narcissistic abuse and what my worth was before committing to another relationship. Your season of singleness is imperative to your future relationship. Don't resist it. Use it as a season of healing from the past wounds. Doing life with my husband is the best adventure ever. You can have this too. And I want to help you get there. So tell me, what is your biggest struggle in your season of singleness? And so then I just said, hit reply to this email and share with me. I'll either answer you in an email or I'll put it into a video, which is what I'm doing now. So I did get some responses, not a whole bunch, but I did get a few. One of them was the biggest struggle in my season of singleness is not getting mentally frustrated. So that's all that she wrote. So I'm going to answer this based on what I feel she means by getting frustrated. And what I feel she means by getting frustrated is I'm assuming she keeps finding not a match, right? Guys who aren't a match, people who aren't a match. Not getting mentally frustrated because it's not working out, or I thought this one was going somewhere and it turned out it wasn't. One example, when I was dating, I met this guy and I really went into dating like I hadn't dated in over 20 years. So I really didn't know what to expect. So I was working my way through it. But this one guy that I met, and I was starting to like him because he was really sweet to me. He was really very thoughtful, very nice, very conversational. Like he would talk. He didn't like hide his emotions and stuff. And he was just really great. I really liked him a lot. I was getting to like him a lot more and more. And he was even talking about me moving in with him. He was like, I have a house. It's in Raleigh, where we live in North Carolina. And he was like, I was thinking about, I have it rented out right now, but after the lease is up with those people, I was thinking about you and I moving in together. So to me, that conversation means like it's getting serious. We're moving towards a future together. So, and I introduced him to my daughter. So long story short, I don't remember how long we were dating, but I went to Colorado to visit my friends, and a lot of stuff happened. I just realized a lot of stuff happened when I went to Colorado. I went to Colorado and I had texted him and called him, and he wasn't answering me, wasn't getting back to me right away, which I thought was kind of funny, but I didn't really read too much into it. Anyway, he took me to the airport and he was to pick me up from the airport. So he picks me up from the airport and he's kind of, I don't know, off, weird. Long story short, he was breaking up with me because his ex-girlfriend came back around and wanted to get back together with him. And he accepted that invitation from her because he had introduced her to his mom, and he felt like they had moved down the line as far as like creating a future together. And he didn't want to like lose out on that chance, which I get. It's totally reasonable. So we broke up, and I met him on Match.com. So obviously I go back on Match.com, right? Come to find out, like a week later, I know it wasn't that long, I see him again on Match. And I was like, what? And I messaged him and I said, what are you doing here? It didn't work out. So my point to sharing that with you is that I'm assuming this is what the biggest struggle in my season of singleness is not getting mentally frustrated. Things like that, right? So that story I just shared with you, I had invested time, I had invested my emotions, I had invested like thoughts of like, oh wow, we're gonna move in together. This looks like it's gonna be a future and yada, 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 yada. And then, one reason or another, it doesn't work out and it's frustrating. So I'm assuming that's what she means. Okay, so to answer that would be I hope that this person is working on the most important thing to do is work on yourself. Work on yourself to heal your past stuff, the past relationships, the past things that you went through, so that you don't recreate it again, because that's how life goes. So in addition to answering this, I want to give a preface of I hope that you're healing. I hope that you're healing your past emotional wounds, the past things that have happened. In addition to that, I would say to be patient and to be kind with yourself, because you're not going to meet the man of your dreams the first one. Ray, my husband now, was not the first guy that I met. I kissed a lot of frogs before I got my prince. So have patience with yourself and be kind to yourself during this season of singleness. Okay, the next one is, hi Denise, my biggest struggle in being single is finding a guy that I want to have a relationship with. In the 2.5 years of online dating experience, well, actually, it may be just a year because I haven't done much with it since COVID. I have not been in a relationship because I haven't found the right guy. I'm not a casual dater. So if that connection isn't there in the beginning, I'll continue with my search. Ooh, this is really good. I know what I'm looking for and I'm not settling. Rather be by myself than be in a relationship with the wrong person. I totally agree with that. This is coming from Kim. I totally agree with that, Kim. But here's what I want to say to this one line that you said. I'm not a casual dater, so if there isn't a connection in the beginning, I'll continue on with my search. And I want to focus on this for a second, because, and I get that, like we think we've watched too many Disney movies, guys. We think that there's going to be these sparks. There's going to be, when we find the right one, there's going to be these sparks. There's going to be this explosion of, it's going to be, I'm just going to know right away. It's going to happen. No, it doesn't always happen that way. In fact, real love, true love doesn't happen that way. It's a growth. It happens very slowly. When we're instantly like attracted to somebody and we feel that connection, usually that is the wrong person to be with. My ex that I was with for 22 years, there was an instant connection. I wanted him, he wanted me. It was instant. It was the whole thing that I just described, right? The sparks, the explosion, all of it. Guess what? That turned into a train wreck. So with Ray, my husband now, initially there wasn't a connection in the beginning. There wasn't the sparks and this and that. And he even said it to me. We were on, like, I don't know, our fourth date or something like that. We kissed. And he later told me, I didn't feel anything when we kissed. So he kind of thought the same thing, like, what's going on? So for Kim and anybody else who's going through this and thinks the same thing or has this belief of the same thing, I'm not a casual dater. So if that connection isn't there in the beginning, I will continue my search. I want you to not think that way. I want you to not think that way, but edit the way you're thinking, because maybe there's a reason why there's not a connection in the beginning. And maybe there's something there to grow. That's what happened for me and Ray. There wasn't a connection in the beginning, but there was something that kept me gravitating towards him. And I kept following that energy. I really want you to pay attention to this part. Follow the energy. So if there isn't a connection that you're having with somebody in the beginning, however, there's something about him that intrigues you or that you like or you want to follow up with, follow the energy of that and see where it leads you to. Okay. I hope that helps. All right. Let's go to the next one. This one says, ask a question here. I'll read it to you. It says, unfortunately, I've been single all my life. My ex only used me for sex. He had his life and I had mine. That hasn't changed. What hurt of all of this mess was separation and betrayal is that my son's girlfriend is the best friend of the father's lover. I tried to get along and welcome her into my life, but it was just hurting me. I needed boundaries, so now I only see my son about twice a month and I have only, she's saying, see his dog 3 times a year. She says, like, the dog is like family. Should totally get that as well. This is the worst that had happened in my life. Other than that, I just miss his money, but thank you for asking. Okay, so this comes from Joanna. So Joanna, I want to address for you, I want to address this son's wife. Did you say she's a wife? Girlfriend, excuse me. Here's the thing. There's something there that needs to be healed for you. And once you heal that, seeing your son's girlfriend won't be a trigger anymore. Okay? Because you're sacrificing your relationship with your son because of the girlfriend. And is that really fair to you to not have a relationship or have like a distant relationship with your son and his dog because of her? Do you maybe think that there could be some ways around that for you to have a relationship with your son and her and the dog? There is. I invite you to look at that further. Of course, I can help you with that. Here's the thing. And listen, I get this. There comes a time where there's a family member. Hold on, let me clear my notification. The family member. So my sister was married to somebody that I loathed. I couldn't stand him. He was useless. He was abusive. He was all of the things. But I said to myself, and this is back when I was married to my first husband. This was before I had done any work on myself. This was before anything. I said to myself, I'm not going to sacrifice my relationship with my sister and my 3 nieces and nephews because of him. I'm not going to do it. I'm not willing to do that. So I had to put on a smiling face so that I could have a relationship, have a close relationship with my sister and my nieces and nephews, because they're more important to me than me not liking him. Right. And this is like the deciding factor that you have to come to. Who's more important to you? Is it more important to you to have a relationship with your son and his dog? Or is it more important to you to not have a relationship with the girlfriend because of what she represents, who she represents? So if you would like help with that, Joanna, please let me know. I can help you with that. We can get on a Heal Your Heart session. It's went about 30, it's less than an hour, 30 to 60 minutes. It's complimentary, there's no charge, and I will help you with this. Okay. All right. So the next one is, oh, this was just a compliment. Well, not just a compliment. It was a compliment. I'm so thankful for your post. I lost count of how many times I was in need of supportive words. And there was your post addressing exactly my feelings. Thank you. Well, you are welcome. Okay. So that looks like all of the feedback that I got so far from that email. If you would like some answers, I can do a part 2 to this. So in the comments below, if you would just answer the question to what is your biggest struggle in your season of singleness, I'll do a part 2 video for you and answer those questions for you as well. All right. Well, if any of this helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, because when you do that, you help the channel grow, which helps me reach more women and more men like you and me who have been through toxic relationships, want to heal from that, and want to get into a healthy relationship. That's what I do. So consider that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up if it helped you, and I'll see you on the next video. Mwah. Thank you so much. Bye.